Hello. I wonder how you are with waiting. Waiting for things, waiting for people, waiting for events, just waiting generally. For some people, they have the patience of Job. For other people like me, patience is a real job. We want it, and we want it now. And the idea of waiting for the sand to run through, it just seems to take so long, and we want things. Time seems to drag. Even when waiting for the kettle to boil, waiting for a cup of tea, I wish I could just click my fingers and a cup of tea would appear. Wouldn't that be lovely? But it's not. It's waiting, waiting, waiting. Well, Jesus told many parables, and lots of those were parables about farming. Of course, in an agrarian society where people lived off the land, that was a natural and helpful thing for him to do. And in farming, there's all sorts of issues of planting and pruning, of weeding, and of course waiting for growth. Well, when I was a child, I used to try and grow sunflowers. And we have some here. This is ones that our boys have been growing appropriately in a sunflower spread pot. And I remember when I was a boy, you'd be having a competition to see who could grow the biggest sunflower. And what you do is you would put your small seed in the soil, of course like this, plant it out in the garden, and then wait. You couldn't force it, you couldn't speed it up, you just had to wait. Well, all of us are doing a lot of waiting at the moment, at this time. And I don't know how you're getting on with the waiting. Positively, it can be a time to slow down, to reflect, to think. Negatively, waiting sometimes can be very lonely or a fearful time. Well, a question, I guess, for all of us is, how are you using this period of waiting? What sort of things are you doing in this time that perhaps you wouldn't normally or ordinarily do? And another question to consider is, what do you think God wants to grow in you at this time? Well, King David, who wrote many of the Psalms, in Psalm 27 is a prayer he makes for his safety. And in the first verse of Psalm 27 we read, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" And the psalm goes through talking about asking God for protection. But interestingly, the last verse is this, verse 14 of Psalm 27 says, "Wait for the Lord, be strong and let your hearts take courage. Wait for the Lord." So friends, during this waiting time, please do take courage, do take heart, and wait for God. See what God will grow in you. Well, let me close now by reading some words from J.C. Ryle, the 19th century Bishop of Liverpool, who speaks on this subject. He says this, "Beloved, we must run with perseverance, or we shall never obtain. There may be many things we cannot understand, much that the flesh could perhaps wish otherwise. But let us endure to the end, and all shall be made clear, and God's arrangements will prove best. Think not to have your reward on earth. Do not draw back, because your good things are all yet to come. Today is the cross, but tomorrow is the crown. Today is the labour, tomorrow is the wages. Today is the sowing, but tomorrow is the harvest. Today is the battle, but tomorrow is the rest. Today is the weeping, but tomorrow is the joy. And what is today compared to tomorrow? Today is at most 80 years and 10, but tomorrow is eternity. Be patient and hope unto the end."